everybody. Welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. It's Friday, January 13th. 2017.
Are you a superstitious lot? You can't answer me, so... I mean, I guess you could in the Twitch chat.
We are a video game news podcast broadcasting live on Fridays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/DCTF podcast and www.chipbit.net.
That's correct.
I'm your host, Lex.
I'm your other host, Dan.
Dan, what are we talking about this week?
We're mostly going to talk about Nintendo. Because, as you may or may not know, last night, Nintendo had their special direct big stage show thing for the Nintendo Switch, their new home console / handheld console, at which they claimed they were going to show off all of the features of the console, as well as many upcoming games.
Wow.
Would you say that these expectations were met?
Actually, the first thing, yes. They did show off a lot of features that I was kind of like, because we had been reporting on patent stuff for, you know what, we'll get into this. But yeah, yes to the first part, no to the second part.
I disagree. I think they did show many upcoming games. Emphasis on upcoming. But regardless, we have that to talk about. We have some other small stories. Bad news for Platinum Games.
Oh, so sad.
On the one hand, which is tragic. Story about China. We got a story about... we're going to talk a little bit about Awesome Games Done Quick, because that's happening right now. There's a fundraiser where they do speed runs of cool video games, as opposed to shitty games done slow.
That should be a counter fundraiser.
Well, that's just like a normal Let's Play.
Oh, no. That's a sick burn.
I made a Let's Play channel. I can say what I want. I made it a while ago. You can go there, but it hasn't been updated in like a year and a half.
Oh, that was a great channel.
Gaming Date. And I still have a backlog of videos that I haven't uploaded to it yet. I should probably just put them up there for the hell of it.
Oh, I didn't even realize you did.
Yeah, there's more videos I have that I just haven't uploaded yet because I'm lazy.
Well, you need to get Nate, who did that channel with you.
I talked to Nate
to do our thing.
We're a little bit off subject, but I actually did talk to Nate about doing some streaming with us.
That actually segues really nicely into how many places you can follow us on social media. We're on all sorts of social media. I'm not even going to list all of them. Too many. Yeah. But you can find us by searching either Don't Copy That Floppy Podcast or DCTF Podcast, which is like our Twitter handle. And if you want to contribute to the show, we have a Patreon, which is... Don't Copy That Floppy on Patreon. And there's all sorts of cool reward tiers, like you can get to vote on stories that we talk about every week. You can...
We have something about like a Google Hangout or something, but we're not getting enough money for it. So.
Yeah, so whatever. You get bonus content. That's the other
bonus
thing.
Content's a good one. That one's fun. You get a sexy voicemail if you give us a lot of money.
So good.
You gotta pony up for that. But we'll make it sexy.
Oh, yeah. You won't be able to tell, but we'll be wearing lingerie while we're recording.
It's going to be worth the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked to Nate about doing some of that stuff with us. So he will probably be joining myself or both of us for a stream at some point.
That'd be great.
He expressed interest in it. And if you want to check out me and our buddy Nate's old Let's Play channel, go to Hot Gaming Date on YouTube. I think you might find it delightful.
It's pretty
Our
good.
video and audio quality is poor, but the quality of the comedy is high. I have an audio file only of when we tried to play Castlevania 64.
Oh, yeah?
Because we lost the video. But it's tragic because that audio is goddamn gold. I re-listened to it the other day. It's like an hour of just like gold comedy. Like, why do I not have the video to go with this? It's so tragic. Anyway, we got a bunch of news stories. We're going to start with something out of CES, the event which I learned what it stood for last week and have promptly forgotten what it stood for in the meantime.
This is a real goofy...
Isn't it like a consumer electronics show or something like
Showcase,
that?
Maybe?
Showcase.
I wonder if it says in this article. I don't really know. But this is an article from Engadget from the 9th.
Yes.
So, and this is basically the final update to a story that happened last week, where around the end of CES...
Look at that thing.
Oh my god. What is the company? Razer?
Yeah, everybody's fave.
They make the best RAM.
Razer Ripjaws.
Yeah.
My favorite.
They had 2 prototypes stolen from their booth at CES.
Oh my god.
Now, they were showing off 2 big things at CES. One of them is what we've got pictured here. A laptop with 3 screens. Because, when you want that PC Master Race gaming experience on the go.
When you want a laptop that weighs 1,400 pounds.
Yes.
Razer can hook you up.
The other one, I guess, was this cool, projector type thing. The Chroma projector, which apparently could do all sorts of neat stuff. But that's irrelevant, because that's not actually what was stolen. People assumed after the initial theft...
They stole Ariana and Valerie.
Yeah.
Those are the working project names.
that they had stolen one of each.
It's a kidnapping.
But it turns out that they had just stolen 2 copies of the laptops with 3 monitors.
Yes. Will they be caught? Will these horrible criminals be brought to justice?
Yeah, probably not.
$25,000 reward, though, if you can give information. If you want to be a narc, you can get $25,000.
You could buy a bunch of 3-screen laptops with that money.
That being a sellout and a snitch is the best thing you can possibly do for yourself.
Oh, exactly.
In almost every situation.
Totally. No, but okay, so what's funny about this, and I don't know if I can find the exact quote. I don't know if it's in here. It should be in here because it's so good. Here we go. So from the CEO, we treat theft and larceny, and if relevant to this case, industrial espionage. Very seriously, it is cheating, and cheating doesn't sit well with us. I should highlight this.
Is it cheated? Who's being cheated?
His company.
I guess cheating is a weird word to use.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
It's
weird
like our players going to have the edge because they have this sick 3-monitor laptop, so now they'll be really good at Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can see everything around them all at once. Is that what he means? Penalties for such crimes are grievous, and anyone who would do this clearly isn't very smart. He says now, well, they still haven't been caught.
I know, that was kind of the funny thing about his quote, because I think his thought process was...
I get it.
That there's cameras everywhere at CES.
Yes.
So
then how have they not been caught yet?
But because there might not have been that many cameras everywhere at CES, and they can't find this person, because it was a giant convention with tons of people. So if this person successfully snuck out in the crowd...
With a giant, with a 5-ton laptop.
2 5-ton laptops.
2 5-ton laptops. That's impressive.
It's impressive.
More than anything else.
But they're gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he probably strapped one to his back as a makeshift glider.
Unfurled the 2 screens, and they were in San Francisco, right? So he could just jump off.
He's halfway across the Pacific right now.
Yeah, they're all set. You use it's a combination of the extra monitors and the internal fans from the laptop that propel you,
and the heat of its NVIDIA CPU gives you lift.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's in international waters by now. They don't stand a chance.
Yeah,
he got off scot-free. He's going to be in Russia in no time, cheating on Overwatch.
Oh my god! You're right.
So anyway, sad news coming up off of this. I mean, I guess this is sort of sad news for Razer. It's a bummer, but we've made it comedic. So now I wouldn't count it as sad news. Actual sad news, Xbox exclusive game Scalebound. That should say Xbox and PC exclusive game Scalebound.
Yeah. Microsoft exclusive.
Microsoft exclusive has been canceled. This has been confirmed by Microsoft and actually has been confirmed by Platinum now as well. This article was the first article, I think, that officially confirmed it on the 9th. Mm-hmm. But on the 11th or the 12th, there was follow-ups from Microsoft, from Phil Spencer, actually, one of our favorite guys, and Hideki Kamiya.
He was so sad about it.
Phil Spencer came off as very genuinely disappointed that this game was canceled. And I wouldn't doubt that he was disappointed that it was canceled. Hideki Kamiya was also very disappointed that it was canceled, understandably so.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one who put a bunch of years of work into
it, and he's a very passionate game developer, so it's unsurprising that he'd feel bad about it. The real question on everybody's mind right now is, what happened?
Yeah, because they didn't really go into detail about that, did they?
No, we have not gotten any. They're just careful deliberation. We've decided to end production. We want to deliver excellent games. Like, so here's what do you mind if I do a little conjectural journalism here?
Oh, yeah. We're game journalists, Dan. If we weren't doing conjectural journalism, we wouldn't be game journalists.
We'd be professional real journalists. Hideki Kamiya is a... So I think part of the problem here is Japanese and Western game development are very different animals. You have a big company like Microsoft putting a bunch of money into a third-party studio to make them a game. People in charge of Microsoft are going to have very specific wants and needs in the context of that, saying, hey, if we're going to give you all this money to make this game, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. This is how it's going to be. Hideki Kamiya and the guys at Platinum Games are the textbook, we make the games we want to make, we make them how we want to make them, Japanese game dev.
Ah, okay.
A la Nintendo, a la Square Enix, all that stuff. Like back in the day, I guess Square Enix is more just a big publisher now. But you know what I mean. Look at the other games that have come out of Platinum, and Kamiya specifically, Bayonetta 2, Wonderful 101, Okami. These are not games that were at the behest of a corporate agenda. These are games that were made by an auteur director and a team of passionate game developers and were made the way they wanted to. Hideki Kamiya is quoted as saying when talking about Wonderful 101, we showed it to a focus group of children and they all said they hated it because it was too colorful and the characters looked too cartoony. And Hideki Kamiya's response to that was, screw them, leave everything the same. So that's the situation we're working with here. Whereas you're working with Microsoft, if the Microsoft executives say, hey, we focus tested Scalebound, it needs this, 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 and this, and Hideki Kamiya doesn't want that stuff in the game, he's going to say, fuck you, no. And the Microsoft board of directors are going to say, well, I guess you don't want your money then. And here we are.
Perhaps.
I feel like this is probably it. Also, last E3, Scalebound got snubbed at Microsoft's big floor show, and when it happened, Hideki Kamiya made a tweet. Now, the tweet does not specifically call out this event, but it happened during E3, around the time of Microsoft press conference, and Hideki Kamiya said, I was reading stuff that other people were posting, and they dug up this tweet. He said, what are these shits at Microsoft doing? This is fucking ridiculous. He's not a man who abides by corporate policies for things like that. So my assumption is that there was a lot of headbutting between Microsoft and Platinum, and it all eventually hit the point where they pulled the plug. Also, because it doesn't seem like this was a graceful ending, because Microsoft has gone as far as to start removing all traces of this game from the internet.
Now, so this was the thing.
They've been deleting trailers and stuff everywhere.
I was reading about how the Scalebound started disappearing from a lot of Microsoft stuff online before it was announced that it was dead.
Yeah.
So that was a little foreboding.
Yeah.
But, I want to point out that, real quick, that Scalebound was first announced...
2014?
2015. Gamescom.
Was it 2015?
I mean, that's what it says here. Or
no, that was for 4-player
co-op.
Oh. It was first shown off at E3 2014, I believe.
Oh. Because we talked about, and this is also, okay, so this was a thing I remember from this past E3.
Yes.
When we saw Scalebound gameplay footage, and then didn't we see Final Fantasy 15 gameplay footage? Like, were they like back to back or very near each other or something?
Yes. Because the Scalebound footage is of them fighting a big monster as a team of 4 people.
Giant enemy crab.
Enemy crab, and it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed Final Fantasy 15 with 4 dudes fighting Titan, and it was a mess.
It was a choppy mess, and the game kind of bugged out, and the guy couldn't actually beat the boss.
It was very stark.
It was a problem.
It was a very stark contrast.
So I remember seeing that and being like, oh man, Scalebound, that game's gonna be great when it comes out.
I bet it would have been. I bet it would have been really wonderful.
I'm wondering if part of this has to do a less cynical approach than you. But part of this
I'm the cynic here.
But part of this might have to do with the fact that Platinum Games is just working on so much stuff.
Perhaps. But I still don't think that would lead to the cancellation of probably their highest profile in development game right now.
Also, there's they've actually had a lot of bad stuff going on lately.
Oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles game was pulled from digital stores.
Yeah, that game got abysmal reviews.
That game was not good. It was a rare misstep for them.
And also, they did Star Fox Zero. I didn't think they did Star Fox.
They did not do Star Fox Zero. They didn't. They didn't. They were under contract by Nintendo to fix Star Fox Zero. Okay. They rejiggered the gameplay and made it work better. So they had a development role. But they were not that's very misleading in this article to say that they released Star Fox Zero, because they did not. That was a first-party Nintendo game that some folks at Platinum helped make.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, Nintendo gave Star Fox to another company? No, that doesn't make any sense.
No, they can't shovel that off on Platinum. That's bullcrap.
But luckily, the good thing, Nier Automata, everyone loves it.
Also, what the hell? Are you going to say 3 poorly received titles and 2 of them are Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard?
Yeah, that's not fair, Polygon.
Polygon, you're slanting this article super hard. I think you got an anti-platinum agenda here.
A not pure platinum agenda?
Not pure platinum. Platinum never tarnishes. They'll be fine.
But yeah, no, I think considering how much people are loving that Nier Automata demo, when the full game of that comes out,
that's their A-squad right there.
It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be forgiven.
The thing with Scalebound also is I'm wondering if the Microsoft executives were constantly kind of pushing back against this game, because if you look at Platinum's track record, they make a lot of really, really fantastic games that don't sell well.
Yeah.
So I wonder if with the dev time and the money that was being put into Scalebound, the shareholders or board members or whoever the hell's in charge of this crap really said, why are we putting so much money into a game for a company who's never had a blockbuster sales game?
Yeah.
Why would we do this?
I can see that.
And then they finally just said, nah, pull the plug. And then Phil Spencer was like, oh no. Because I genuinely believe Phil Spencer cares about putting out cool, unique games. And he seems like more honest dude than most of the... He's
tried really hard to save the X-Bone, you guys.
He's trying really hard, but Microsoft just won't let him.
I mean, he's made a lot of really good decisions.
Yeah.
And we have to assume that he was probably not in charge of this decision.
No, probably not. Let's talk about awesome games done quick.
Yeah, okay, so...
Briefly, because I think we want to have a lot of time for Nintendo.
There is, on the 10th,
yes,
we had a report that Games Done Quick soared to 100,000 viewership.
That's a lot of viewership.
On its first day.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great. Oh my gosh, they were doing speedruns of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES. So for those who aren't familiar, Awesome Games Done Quick, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
They stream back-to-back speedruns of games.
And
for charity.
Yeah, they try and raise a bunch of money for charity. Do we know the specific charity that they're working with?
I don't know this year.
Because I think they change it, but I can never remember. I don't give to charity. I don't know. I'm a bad person.
Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Oh, good.
Again,
a worthy cause. So they're doing really great.
They're fighting cancer with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers speedruns.
And we actually have, just to cut to their live stream for a second.
Yes.
They're doing Kirby Superstar.
Oh yeah, and they do like competitions too.
Yeah.
Multiple people doing speedruns of the same game at the same time.
So who can do it fastest?
And they're currently sitting at $861,000.
That's great.
So they're on track to the goal of over 1 million.
So yeah, check those guys out. Donate if you can. It's a great cause and a great charity that happens once a year.
And they're giving away prizes for stuff too. So
nice.
Check it out.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into
this is the meat and potatoes.
The Nintendo live stream, the Nintendo Direct.
Did you watch it? The whole thing?
I watched it this morning, but I did watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Yes. So this happened. If you're in North America, it happened
either at 8 p.m.
or like 11
or somewhere in between.
Yeah. Yesterday, which was January 12th.
Yes.
Thursday. And then this morning there was also a Nintendo Treehouse event.
They showed off more gameplay of things.
Yeah, which if you were in North America was in the morning.
Yeah.
And I watched a bunch of that actually, but since that was more just like let's play a game for half an hour.
Right. Well, let's get to it. We'll make an itemized list here.
Oh, okay. So I was looking for an article that had a good itemized list.
I did too.
And I couldn't find one.
No, me neither.
So that was weird.
So, system's coming out March 3rd.
Coming out March 3rd, it's going to be $300.
It's going to be $300.
Pre-orders opened last night.
Yes, they are gone.
They're sold out.
You will not get one. That's what I'm going to say from me to you, the listener. Do you want a Nintendo Switch? That's too bad.
Too bad.
You will not get one. You will get one later. So, March 3rd, earlier than most people expected. I saw a lot of people guessing March 17th was a commonly listed, assumed release date.
Mm-hmm.
So a little early there. And it's on the higher end of the predicted price. Most places were predicting $250 to $300.
Yeah.
So it's $300. I think that's fine. I do not have a problem with the price. I do not have a problem with the release date, obviously. I also do not have a problem with this console itself. So let's talk about that console.
Okay, so
now that we know more.
Yeah, so we had reported on a lot of different patents that Nintendo had been filing,
yes.
And one of the things we kind of had decided recently was that a lot of these patents were for things that Nintendo were trying to hedge their bets on, but they weren't actually going to implement.
Yeah.
I think the thing that we were right about, or probably right about, was the VR thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff too, I think, at least I had been thinking that on, which was stuff like a lot of the there was hand gesture tracking stuff that they had patents for. There was all sorts of different motion sensitivity and touchscreen stuff that I thought,
yes.
well, maybe it'll be in a limited way that'll be in there, but it's not gonna do that much of it. When we saw this Direct, a lot of the Direct focused on the Joy-Cons or the Joy-Con
controllers, yeah,
and what it could do. And it could do a lot of stuff.
These little teeny controllers, they are very small. We saw that in the live stream when they were holding them. They're actually very small little controllers. Or that man had very big hands.
No, he was a Japanese man. He must have had tiny hands. The Japanese were small people.
They make very small systems for very small hands.
That's how they make all the circuit boards.
That's true.
Come on.
So the Joy-Con, they packed a lot of stuff into these things. They have motion control, a la the Wii, full on. They have an IR sensor that can sense close and far.
And apparently different hand gestures, which is really interesting.
And it has an advanced, almost rumble feature. That's like a haptic feedback rather than just rumble.
It can make you feel HD rumble or
something
HD something.
Yeah,
and it was the comparison.
It's like a force feedback kind of thing, but very detailed and fine tunable.
The example he gave with it was so silly.
Yes,
he was just like, you can tell as if it's a glass with an ice cube in it,
or 3 ice cubes,
or water and ice cubes.
Yeah. But you get the idea though. He was trying to say that you can have that much variation and it's so noticeable.
Okay, but what I thought was funny about that, and I assume that as someone watching it with English translators,
yes,
that this was getting lost in translation.
Yes.
But what it sounded like he was saying is it can do just this, not something like this. It could just do the ice cubes in a glass feeling thing. That's it.
Check it out, you guys. Ice cubes in a glass, though.
Look at all the games we can have with ice cubes and glasses. Cooking Mama.
Look, man, there's already a WarioWare game about drinking ice water from a glass. This was made for that.
Excellent.
So the controllers look great. They have shoulder buttons on the inside.
So if you're Mario Karting it up,
it has a full complement of buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You can use these for anything. They also have a little attachment that when they're not attached to the system, you can slide this extra attachment on that makes the shoulder buttons bigger and easier to use,
and allows it to attach to your wrists,
like the Wii strap.
And those straps will come with the system. They will come packaged with it.
They will, which is great. And it also has an AC adapter, so if you have it disconnected from its charging dock but want to take it on the go with you, you can charge it from wall sockets like a handheld console.
This is important, which brings me to another thing about the console, which is they told us what the battery life is.
2 to 6 hours, dependent on software.
That's a bit of a big window there.
Yes, but I get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, all that tells to me is Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are going to be 6 hours. And Breath of the Wild is going to be 2 hours.
A hard 2.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And any kind of big third-party titles are going to be 2 hours.
Xenoblade 2. We'll get to that, though.
Skyrim, probably.
Yeah, Skyrim. So there's all that.
Can I mention real quick? So
yes.
the things, the sale models that they talked about, they sent all the stuff it comes with, which is actually a lot of stuff. We've got the controller thing that the Joy-Cons slide into.
Yep, it comes with the charging dock controller thing that you can put the Joy-Cons on.
Also the AC adapter, also the wrist strap things.
Yep. The system itself. The television dock.
Yeah. What am I? Oh, the HDMI cord.
The HDMI cord.
I think that was it, but that was pretty good.
Yeah, it comes with what you want it to come with.
The only sort of peripheral that it wasn't coming with was the Pro Controller.
Yes, which is going to retail for $70.
Which is ridiculous.
That's not that ridiculous when you look at most controller prices nowadays.
You know, Steam ruined it for everyone. They
Xbox
made that
Elite,
controller
an
so
Xbox
high.
Elite controller costs over $100.
That's madness.
So frankly, I'm not surprised. A lot of people, I have seen a lot of reactions of people being shocked at the price of the accessories for this console.
Actually, there's a Polygon article about that, which I might just bring
up.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, right there. I think this is ridiculous. Not the pricing of these things. I think that people's reaction to these prices is absurd.
I'm going to repeat this. It's $90. What the living hell?
If you want a second charging dock, that's such a specific thing. How many people are going to be like, well, I need a second charging dock?
You're not going to need to do that unless yours breaks. Because why would you need a second charging dock?
But he's like, what if I want to have it on 2 TVs in my house? You don't! Why do you need that?
Move the charge. The whole point is it's a console. You don't need to play it on the TV.
This article was like a freaking joke. The Joy-Con controllers, left or right, can be purchased for $50 each. That seems a little steep, but when you look at the amount of fine technology in those, it's not that surprising.
I mean, that's the thing. So one of the things about those controllers is they can do all these different things.
Yes.
And they're really compact. So assuming that they do all those things well...
That's reasonable.
Then that's actually a reasonable price because this is really cool tech.
Because that's the price if you only need to like replace one, because you can get them bundled together for $80.
$80.
And the Pro controller is $70.
And the Pro controller is $70. So okay, but the other
there's all these people who are like, this is ridiculous. These prices are so ridiculous. A fucking PS4 controller costs $65. Nobody complains.
It's true. It's true.
Like, come on.
Also,
I can't believe the console cost so much money. A PS4 cost you like $400 when it came out.
That's the thing, right? So the Switch cost $300.
And this technically comes with 2 controllers.
Yeah, no, it comes with all the stuff. You don't like the console is such a good deal.
Yeah.
That you have that money left over in your pocket if you want to buy these other things, and you're still spending less than...
Like, all of these comments are coming from this weird parallel universe where the Xbone and the PS4 were free.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get this. I don't get why people are so upset. I cannot possibly wrap my head around it.
One of the...
Also, that little, like, handheld dock thing for the Joy-Cons to make them into a regular controller looks great.
Yeah, like, I'm worried that it might be a little awkward to hold.
Nah.
But so far, like...
The Wii U gamepad works.
Yeah.
If the Wii U gamepad works, that thing will work.
Good. I think it's going to be fine, and if it's not going to be fine, we're going to hear about it in the coming next 2 months when they bring it around to different cities and people check it out.
Doing.
So it's not like you're not going to have... It's not like you're not going to know before the console's out.
Right.
But I feel like I want to just leave up this image because it's like new details. But one of the things that they have in the box that you can get of it is there's 2 separate versions.
Yes.
One of them has the regular old Switch looking kind of drab and gray.
Yep. And then the gray Joy-Cons.
Yes. And then the other one has the neon blue and neon red.
Yes.
Joy-Cons.
Wow. Those things pop.
Yeah. And they showed them both side by side, and then they said, these will have the same suggested retail price. And I'm like, wait a minute. So one of them, which is just clearly more desirable than the other, costs the same amount.
Yes.
How much do you want to bet? And I don't know this for certain, although I'm pretty sure this is what they did. We don't have any of the numbers yet. Mm-hmm. But how much do you want to bet that there is half as many of those neon ones produced?
I would count on it.
I was like, if you're not charging more, you have to make it exclusive in some other way. You're just making less of them. Like, you have to be.
Count on it.
Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just make them all the neon ones? Because that's clearly like the cooler looking thing.
Yeah.
That people want to buy.
I don't know. Some people like gray.
Nah.
Like it's more muted. It's more neutral.
And it does all match, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with the neon Joy-Cons,
some people might not like the neon color. I prefer the gray personally.
Oh, I gotta have it pop.
My wife likes the pop too.
Oh.
But
your wife is a woman of discerning taste.
Gotta get that neon blue. Gotta get that neon red. So that brings us kind of to stock of these things. Supply and demand. Nintendo has famously undershipped products at this point.
We gotta talk about Amoeba?
Amoebas.
Amoebae. I'm sorry.
We're talking about single-celled organisms right now?
Yeah, we gotta talk about
Nintendo. I can't find a single Nintendo Amoeba anywhere. I need an electron microscope to find all these Nintendo products.
So small. The production lines were so small. But
they're tiny hands though, so they're fine making them.
We gotta talk about the classic NES.
Classic NES. Talk about the Wii, and the Wii had a lot of shortage issues over the course of its run. Ultimately, it didn't. But
yeah,
initially...
I blame them less for the Wii shortage issues because that was like
the Wii U did not have that problem, as nobody cared.
Yeah.
But DSs have also famously had issues on launch day with being undershipped.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
When new models come out and stuff, most stores don't very usually get many. But the Switch, back in like November and December, there were rumors buzzing about, I guess from some Nintendo conference call or something allegedly, that the total worldwide shipment by the end of March was going to be 2 million units. Which, if they're looking for a big launch, and the hype that's this console's drumming up right now, that is laughably small.
Okay, so to compare that to sales that we know of from past Nintendo consoles, or actually, let's go to like the PlayStation 4 first, right?
Yeah.
That sold...
So they came out in November, and had already sold more than 2 million units
as of December 1st.
Not shipped, sold.
Sold.
They shipped more than that for sure.
Yeah. And then when we look at the Wii, this is done by quarter.
Yeah.
But 3 million worldwide.
I think that also came out in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Wii U.
And these are sales too.
Yes.
So all these numbers you should take with the idea that like these are not. They're saying 2 million Switches shipped. I don't know how many were shipped for these consoles, but they've sold this much. And it's already, like, way more. So, and then the Wii U was a little over 3 million as well.
Yes.
Although it petered out really fast.
Oh, the Wii U. But yeah, so it's not like Nintendo doesn't know.
They're at this point, they have to be doing it on purpose.
To create this demand, to create this hype for it. And this is something, I've read articles about this, I watched videos about this. Jim Sterling did a fantastic video about the NES Classic, in which he compared Nintendo's mentality to toy companies.
Yes.
And how...
We're only going to make so many furries. Not furries, Furbies. Furbies! Only gonna make so many furries. They're in high demand. People can't get enough of these furries.
Oh, this fox can
People
everywhere.
Are just yiffing forever. Can't stop.
That
was a wonderful Freudian slip. But Furbies were like the hot toy back in the late 90s.
Beanie Babies?
You couldn't get them. Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies was an example of that.
This year, Hatchimals for Christmas.
Didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, they're pet animals like Furby who hatch out of eggs. And they were the hot commodity.
Wow.
They were getting scalped to fucking bag.
Or like that action figure from Jingle All the Way. I don't remember what it was called, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Somebody, and I hate this person because they don't understand toy companies. Somebody made a meme that was, if Jingle All the Way happened in the present day, and it was just Arnold Schwarzenegger going like, oh my gosh, my son needs this toy, and then him on Amazon ordering the toy, and then he's like, oh, my son, oh man, the end, roll credits. And I'm like, no, that's not what would happen, because NES Classic, that's your example.
Well, also, look at, you ever go to a action figure aisle in a store, and you're like, wow, you go look at the Transformers, for example, and you're like, man, there sure are a lot of Bumblebees.
And no Starscreams.
And
there's never a Starscream.
No one else.
Yeah.
No Starscream, no Optimus, no Megatron.
Maybe you'll find like the lame alternate version of Optimus
that nobody wants because he sucks.
Yeah.
Or like the movie version.
Ugh.
Like, barf. Get out of my face. But the point is, that happens because toy companies intentionally ship fewer of certain toys. Mm-hmm. It is not because people have already come in and bought all of the 10 Optimuses that came in that case of Transformers. Yeah. It's because that case had one Optimus Prime in it.
Yep.
And 10 Bumblebees. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Like, it's encouraging scalpers, which is awful.
It's really bad.
This console is going to get scalped to hell and back.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to scalp this thing all day. It's going to be brutal.
Do you think that term is racist?
Scalping?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It might be a little bit.
Does it have its roots in, like, that kind of scalping?
I think it might.
I would be curious how that etymology evolved. Yeah. Because, like, I don't get what that has to do with, like, selling people stuff at a jacked up price.
I know, right?
I don't understand how that equates to cutting somebody's scalp off with a tomahawk.
Ugh. Ugh.
I mean, it's just as horrible a deed.
It's just as bad.
But, I mean, beyond that.
But no, so this is, Nintendo are gonna way undership this. And I mean, we know they've already underproduced it because, like we said right after we started talking about it, you can't buy it right now. No. Pre-orders started last night at midnight, on the East Coast of North America. And by 11 a.m. this morning...
They're gone.
They were
everywhere.
Gone. Yes. I think that the last places that had them that early in the morning, because they were available at Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, Target, Amazon. That might have been it. There might have been another place too. Yeah. And as of that time, as of 10 this morning, I think you could still get them at Target and Best Buy, but you couldn't get the neon version because those were already gone. And yeah, I'm pretty sure by 11 or noon they were just completely gone. So, less than 24 hours. I understand that people are excited and that a lot of people are ordering this, and I know several people who have ordered this. But Nintendo, you knew that was going to be the response. Yeah, you knew.
There's no way you didn't. How would you not? Especially after the biggest announcement of the night. But we'll get to that.
So do we want to transition to games now?
Yes. Okay. I think this is a good place to transition to games because I'm going to say, Corinne and I decided we don't care about getting one of these close to launch. We are going to get this console sometime in the summer. Maybe August, September. So, before the holiday season when there's that rush to get it as the hot holiday item.
And when they've actually shipped some more.
But they'll have some more shipped, so we'll probably be able to get one.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to get it. And the other reason for that, beyond just sensibility and the fact that we don't need it now.
Yeah.
We have other video games to play. But the other reason is, what will we play on it?
Let's look at these launch titles, everybody.
We got 1-2 Switch, which admittedly looks pretty fun.
It's Wii Sports.
It's Wii Sports crossed with WarioWare.
Yeah, actually, let's get into... Maybe we should get into that a little bit in terms of the capabilities of the Switch.
Because this game exists to showcase what the controllers can do.
Yeah, and they can do all sorts of really interesting things.
Yes.
And the whole thing with the 1-2 Switch is you play a lot of the games without ever looking at the console.
Yeah.
You're specifically looking at your opponent.
Which I think is actually kind of a cool idea.
It's a cool idea. I don't think it's going to work. Because one of the things is, like, I know one of those was, like, fencing, right?
Yes.
If you aren't...
Have the reference of the screen.
Yeah, then you're just not going to know exactly where the collision detection is.
Yeah. Like the cowboy, like the cowboy shooting each other game.
Yeah.
Standoff. McCree the video game.
Yeah.
It's High Noon. That works.
Yeah.
Because you just pointed at the other person. Like, that's fine. But you're right. Fencing would be odd.
Yeah.
Still, I think...
Or ping pong. Ping pong is also supposed to be in there.
It might be a fun party game, though.
It probably will be.
I would need to have a hands-on with it to really pass judgment.
So I'm super skeptical about that, but best case scenario, it becomes another Wii Sports.
Yes.
Worst case, I guess, is just shovelware that no one cares about.
Yeah.
But that's what that is. So it's not even really a game.
I'm surprised it's not bundled with the console.
I was expecting it to be too.
But it's going to be retailing, I guess, for a non-full price.
Okay.
So it's probably going to be like $30.
So I don't even really count that toward a launch title because for the same reason that I wouldn't have counted Wii Sports.
Should be bundled with the should be bundled with the console title.
Okay, next up we have Just Dance 2017.
Moving on.
Who cares?
Let's skip that one for now.
Okay.
Skylanders Imaginators. Children love it.
Children will get
that. Will kids care enough about... Because you can get Imaginators on other stuff, can't you? Doesn't it already exist?
I think it does.
Yeah, I've seen ads for it. I'm sure.
I'm not an 8-year-old child.
So most kids who won't care about that probably already have Skylanders Imaginators. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't really do much for them. And Super Bomberman R, which they didn't even show at the show.
I don't remember them talking about that at all.
I think they showed it at the Treehouse thing.
Oh, okay.
Probably. And it's Bomberman. It's like classic Bomberman.
It's a fun party game.
Sure, fun. Why not? So the game you get when you buy this console is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Now, this is interesting because remember how we had reported on how this game probably wasn't going to come out at launch because it was having all sorts of, what was it called? It was voiceover for a different country. I forget the term for it.
Localization.
It was having all sorts of problems with localization because the game is so big. There was just a lot of work to do, and they weren't getting through it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because all the gameplay we saw of it during the Direct is all Japanese with subtitles.
Yes.
Which I
However, there are like 8 different versions of the trailer they showed for this.
Oh, so is there an English one?
There's an English one, there's a German one, there's a French one.
Well, good for
there's a Japanese one.
But yeah, so it seems to me that they looked at what their launch lineup was going to be and realized that they didn't have one. So then they went to the people working on Legends of Zelda and just like probably put extra people on the team so they could make sure
paid them overtime and we're like, we gotta have it.
We gotta have it for launch. Yeah.
So that's great though, that this is a launch title. I think that's good.
It's going to be great.
That's a system seller.
It looks like
it's not a system seller for me because I already own a Wii U, so I'm just going to buy it for the Wii U because there's no difference between the game versions.
That's true.
So I don't care. Yet another reason to not buy this on launch for me. I want to play it, but I can just play it on my Wii U.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. This still will be a system seller for a lot of people, and I think Nintendo knows that also because they don't need to worry about a lot of people saying, oh, I'll just play it on the Wii U, because nobody owns a Wii
U. Also true, yeah.
So there's that. This was the big announcement of the show. They did it at literally the last possible second. We should also mention the new president was there. The new guy.
Yeah, he didn't run the show.
No, but he was around.
He
seemed like an alright dude.
He did the intro and the outro.
Yeah.
The guy who ran the show I actually really liked.
Yeah, who was the head of the development for the Switch. I can't remember his name either.
He was a little awkward on stage, but the video they recorded with him was a lot of fun.
Can we talk about that one translator who just like could not get his shit together?
Oh my god, that guy sucked. Who was he translating for?
He translated for multiple people. They had 3 translators.
Yeah.
They had a guy for the Nintendo president, they had a guy for like the head of Switch, and then they had this other guy for like other people. And he was a freaking mess. It sounded like he was being like trying to translate 2 things at once, or he'd just been told that his like grandma fell down the stairs. Or something, but he could not focus on translating this damn show.
This was something that we saw a lot at E3 with translators who just like don't know what they're doing.
This was the worst I've seen it by far. This guy would go dead silent for like 10 seconds and then be like, so we were working on it and we were like, well, we want to put it out.
Oh, the Splatoon 2 dude. He translated for him at one point. And it was real bad.
He's like, we research the squids. Like, I'm sorry, I'm ragging on this guy a lot, but like, this was like supposed to be like a professionally done show.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that I could do better, because I couldn't. I don't know Japanese, but
I know some Japanese. I know I would be worse than him by far.
Yeah, but like
this is like a professional show.
Yeah. You need to get someone who's a professional translator to be there.
I don't know what Suda51 was at the show to talk about, because this guy's translation was just a rambling mess. Mm-hmm. I have no idea what Suda51 was there to say. He came out on stage, he gave an impassioned speech about something, and he left. And I don't know what it was. So anyway, this was the last possible thing. They did a little funny video of like, hey, isn't there something else we should be showing off?
Yeah,
and Reggie was there.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic, because they cut to, so they do the
like Europe,
the direct in Japan, then they cut to the guy who's the head of Europe, and he's just like, hey, thanks for getting up early, European guys. Okay,
let's 5 a.m.
Yeah, let's cut to New York. And then Reggie's like, oh my gosh, let me be the best spoken person ever.
And be like, hey, Miyamoto.
And then Miyamoto's just standing in the background, like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'm like,
how's that new Zelda game? And Miyamoto's like, he does his thumbs up thing.
Yeah, he did the Wonderful 101 thumbs up.
Yeah, he did it. He went into unlimited form. Yeah. Miyamoto's always in unlimited form. His Unite gauge is infinite.
Who was the other guy who showed up?
Eiji Aonuma.
Yeah.
He's the director of Breath of the Wild. He's the head of like Zelda.
So that struck me as really funny, because both of those guys were in New York with Reggie and not in Japan.
They're probably doing the road trip in the US with
him. No, they must be, but it was funny. It's like, now let's cut to New York where actual fun, interesting things are happening.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, I expected the puppets to come out. Like,
oh my god, they cannot top the puppets. The puppets are so good.
It's the best. So then they went back to Japan, and the head of the company was like, so yeah, I'm going to leave you. We're going to leave you with one last thing. Big news. The news we know everyone wants. And it was that Zelda was going to be a launch title alongside a fucking great trailer.
It was a really great trailer.
That trailer was a real peach. That got me really hyped for this game. This game looks like it has, like, emotion and a story going.
What?
It's not just like, Link, go collect the magic crystal babies. It's like there were characters having emotional moments in that trailer. There were things in that trailer that have not been in Zelda games before as far as narrative elements.
Yeah, the only thing that annoyed me about
including
a little
voice
bit.
Acting.
Including voice acting. Oh, the only thing that annoyed me about it a little bit, and this isn't really that big a gripe because I knew they were going to do it anyway, was that at the end of the trailer, they're just like, oh my gosh, go save Zelda, save the kingdom. And I'm like, yeah, just like in every other Zelda game.
Well, yeah. But that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's more going on in this one. Regardless.
Yeah, there definitely seems
also,
like
can we talk about how Ganon is like an inhuman mass of darkness in the shape of a pig serpent?
Yeah.
Because that's awesome.
It's pretty sweet. Because at first I was like, I started watching it, I'm like, but Ganon better not be the villain. Better be somebody else. And then I saw him and I was like...
they're doing it right.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty sweet.
And they're not going to jerk us around like with Twilight Princess and be like, no, the villain's someone else. But surprise, it was Ganon. At least they're being honest.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Breath of the Wild. I think it actually looks really terrific. And that trailer's a treat if you haven't watched it yet. So that's all that's coming out for launch. They did announce many upcoming titles, however.
So we got to see, like I mentioned earlier, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2.
Which has a set date, April 28th.
Yep.
Getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
We got to see Mario, the new Mario, which is Mario Odyssey.
Super Mario Odyssey. I love that title.
He's globe-trotting.
He goes to our world. That's crazy.
But it's like 50s our world. Everyone is so nicely dressed.
I actually really liked the trailer for Super Mario Odyssey. I think it looks fun. It looks like a cross between like Galaxy and 64. It has that kind of feel to it, and maybe a little bit of Sunshine mixed in there.
Yeah.
Which I'm all about because I liked all those games.
We also got some gameplay and a trailer for this game called ARMS.
ARMS I find intriguing.
Yeah, it's the only game there that seemed to be like, besides like 1-2, whatever it was called, 1-2 Switch. Arms was the only game there besides 1-2 Switch, which was like, hey, we're gonna make full use of the controller capabilities and have them be like the core of our gameplay.
And they described how the controls would work, and I was kind of like, this seems cumbersome. I don't know. But then they're like, no, but look at some gameplay.
And then they showed people playing it.
Yes. And it actually, like, I feel like it'll take a bit to get used to the controls, but it looked like once you do, it plays rather well.
Yeah, assuming that these controllers are as nice as they're being touted as like the motion controls and everything work as well as they should, then I think ARMS might be like a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's a really interesting little IP. It's a fighting game. In case you haven't seen the trailer for it, your characters have a health bar. You have a super meter for super moves. Yep. You can block, you can jump, you can dodge, and you can punch. You punch. Everyone has really stretchy, weird arms, and you can like aim your arm ways, so you can kind of like curve it, and you can do all sorts of like spring punches. It's really interesting, actually.
And pretty much everything is you're holding the two controllers like in your fists, and you're making the punching
punch motions, and you have to do like a block motion to block and everything. It looks really interesting. I will say my one detractor for ARMS is I'm not crazy about the character designs.
It's silly, but it's colorful.
They come off to me as very, here's a game for the Wii.
You know what they remind me of?
They don't look like to me at least, they don't have enough personality. They come off as almost like canned.
A little bit.
And I mean, that's probably rude of me to say because we haven't really seen that much of them. But my initial reaction is this game looks really cool. The characters kind of just look like generic, colorful hero type characters. I wish there was more, I wish they had more going on. Yeah. I guess.
Splatoon 2, which it seems like the big difference between this one and the first one.
You have different hairstyles.
Well, there are a lot more weapons that you can use and a lot more different. It seems like there are different gameplay modes.
Movement options, gameplay modes, and you can change your hair.
So that's good. That's a basic, solid sequel type.
For that kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Graphically and everything, it doesn't look any different. No. But that's fine because that means it'll still run smooth as butter on the Switch, even when you're going mobile, probably. Yeah. Which is actually good.
Which you're definitely going to want because you're going to want to play it multiplayer with your friends, like going over their house, stuff like that.
We should just mention some of these games. Splatoon is just due out for the summer. Super Mario Odyssey isn't due out till holiday season.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a while on that.
The moment they said that, I was like, oh, these motherfuckers better hope that they have Zelda for launch day. The moment they said Mario wasn't until holiday season. So then we had a big list of games that, just have either 2017 or to be decided.
One of the things I will point out is they're trying to show off third-party games, and I think they kind of messed that up. Yeah. They have FIFA is going to be on it. The head of EA gave the most dispassionate speech ever.
He looked miserable.
It's like, we're so glad.
Was that Bill Trinan behind him translating?
Maybe.
It looked a lot like Bill Trinan, but I couldn't tell if it was actually him or not. And if it is, great Japanese, Bill Trinan. Your accent is very good.
He sounded like he did a great job translating.
Yeah, no, as someone who speaks enough Japanese to at least know if someone is doing it right, he did great.
Yeah. We've got Minecraft and Minecraft Story Mode. They're going to be on here. Skyrim is going to be on here.
Skyrim's actually going to be on. Todd Howard showed up and was like, "Hey guys, we get Skyrim."
So it's funny. Someone, maybe it was Jim Sterling. I've been watching too much Jim Sterling stuff lately. But someone said online that they were glad that Bethesda stopped gaslighting us. Yeah. Because we saw Skyrim in the video in October.
We haven't confirmed it.
Yeah, and then the Bethesda was like, no, it's not going to be on there. And I'm like, no, dude, but it is. It obviously is.
But not until fall. I don't know how they couldn't line that up as a launch title.
I will also point out that it's Skyrim, not Skyrim, whatever it's called.
It looked like Special Edition.
Graphically? I mean, it sort of did, but it's not called that.
I don't know.
So I'm thinking that it's not.
Yeah. Sonic Mania. Yeah. Now we can continue our disappointment into the Switch.
Steep. I didn't remember hearing about Steep, but that's cool.
Steep.
Ultra Street Fighter 2, which is just a port, but it looks fun.
Yeah,
it's a port / HD
we should mention
remake.
Fire Emblem Warriors, because that's like Hyrule Warriors.
Oh, that's what that's like.
It's a Fire Emblem like Dynasty Warriors game.
Cool.
So that's actually kind of neat.
NBA 2K, which was also in that October trailer.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This was a surprise. This was a big, huge, fat surprise.
Okay, can I tell you real quick? And
yes.
This is going to sound mean, but I saw the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and I looked at it and I thought it didn't look good. I mean,
I do not.
Graphically.
I think it looks good graphically. I do not think the main character has a good design.
Oh, okay, sure.
And the problem is that the trailer highlights the main character, and I think his design is incredibly weak. Because the other characters it shows look fine. Mm-hmm. And most of the environments it shows look fantastic. Especially given what they're probably working with. This game is weird because we had Xenoblade Chronicles so this game on the trailer is called Xenoblade 2 because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 in Japan was just called Xenoblade. So that's the Japanese title. In America, this game is called Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Okay.
It is not the sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles, but doesn't have the Chronicles on it or something. Weird that they're making a sequel for that game because Xenoblade Chronicles wrapped itself up very nicely. So I'm kind of curious to see what they try and do here. I have faith in Monolith to hopefully do a good job, because Xenoblade Chronicles was great, and maybe they can continue that, and that'd be a good thing for Nintendo. What I find weird is that they just put out Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, which is like a spiritual successor to Xenoblade Chronicles? So I assumed we weren't getting more of this. Mm-hmm. But apparently now we're getting like a Mega Man situation.
Oh no.
Where we have the Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X franchises, and one will be more fantasy and one will be more hard sci-fi.
Sure. I mean, hey, as long as they're good games.
I just think it's very bizarre.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is going to be on it.
Whoop-de-doo.
I actually, because I intend to eventually buy a Switch, I will get Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for my Switch.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We forgot to talk about something. This system has a full online feature.
Oh,
suite.
Okay. This was
should probably
worth mentioning. That. This is they're talking about how there's going to be a full online feature.
It will be a paid feature.
Yeah, you're going to pay for it,
but not for the first 6 months.
But yeah, that was interesting. But
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so, to try and get people into it.
If you have to pay for it right away, way fewer people are going to even give it a chance.
Yeah. But this console really encourages lots of couch co-op.
Yes.
It there are games where you, and I think Armed was an example.
Yes.
Is you can have the additional Joy-Con.
It has split screen.
And play
It actually has split screen.
A game with split screen. Coming out in 2017.
Whoa.
Shocking. So plus the sort of LAN type capabilities where you can have just how many of it was like up to 8 of them could be playing multiplayer at once?
Bro, hear me out. Skyrim, fall 2017. It's not Skyrim Special Edition because it's a different version of the game. This is why it's taking longer to come out. They're going to allow for local multiplayer.
Okay, that would be amazing, but I don't think they're doing that.
But what if they do?
Because they didn't hint at anything like that.
Why would they?
To build hype, obviously.
No, they did that. Dude, they released a trailer for the Switch months ago and then said, "See you in January," with nothing else. Clearly, Nintendo does not care about dropping breadcrumbs for us.
All those breadcrumbs had to leak.
I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with reasons why that game is not coming out until the freaking fall.
I know, that it makes no sense.
That game has been made like 20 times by now. It can't be that hard to port it.
Especially since this can run Unreal Engine. What was the game that it showed us that was touted as Unreal Engine?
Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The new one, which is just called Shin Megami Tensei New Series Entry.
Alright.
It's going to be SMT5. Because Nintendo's been getting the rights to all the SMT mainline games now. Okay. After 4.
So overall, this list is pretty sparse. I mean, it's, the launch titles are extremely sparse.
So would you say hardware looks good? Software still kind of iffy?
Pretty much par for the course for Nintendo. I was having a conversation about this earlier with...
How many of these 2017 games do you think are actually going to come out in 2017?
Ooh, well, you gotta notice that a lot of these say TBD.
Yeah.
So they're probably not coming out until 2018,
I'm going to call it right now. Xenoblade's gonna get delayed.
Oh, probably.
I'm gonna call that right now.
I'm gonna call it right now. Skyrim delayed. The game that should have come out a lot.
Delayed until 2019. They heard what I said, and now they need to add multiplayer to it.
Minecraft delayed.
I do want to. I am gonna stick to my guns on that though, and I am gonna go on the. I'm gonna break away from my cynical nature and say maybe they're gonna do something really special with Skyrim on the Switch and allow for some sort of local multiplayer.
Okay, here's the thing. There was a lot of missed opportunities in this direct in terms of games.
Yeah.
That I felt like. Where they had people come out on stage or do video conference, and those people said the bare minimum of what we needed them to say and nothing more. Yes. And Todd Howard, that's his name,
yes,
right? Was a perfect example of this.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
He came on video. He said we love Nintendo. He's like said a nice thing about Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then he said, and we're bringing Skyrim to you. And all he needed to say after that was, and we've got something else in the works for the Switch, and that's it. And that would have been perfect. And that would have been like, oh. I'm interested to see what Bethesda's making.
But they told us they have over 80 titles in development.
Yeah. Certainly not. What was the final number on this? 23!
That was the Wii U launch title.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention. I can't count all these.
So in development, we have 6, 7, 8. Keep going down. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20-something.
23!
But they said they have 80 in development total. They said it.
This is coming up short. A little bit short.
I mean, in development could mean they wrote on a piece of paper, like, start new Mario game.
And because so many of these are ports...
Yeah.
It is such a weak lineup.
It is.
But no, so I was
Zelda's their saving grace.
I mean,
Zelda's going to sell the console.
And that's why they needed to launch with it.
Yeah.
But no, I was having this conversation with somebody earlier today about this, and I was saying, why are they releasing this in March? If they pushed this to the summer, they could potentially have a much bigger launch catalog. And it's not like they have to compete with another console launching in the summer.
No.
Like, there's no, like, they should have waited on this.
Yeah, but no, we should just put it out, though. Why don't we just release it? Why don't we just release it, you guys?
So dumb.
The stockholders want us to release the console.
I mean, that's probably what happened.
Yeah, because they don't understand how this works.
But, like, man,
what do you mean people want a video game to play on their new video game console?
No.
That's ridiculous. It's nonsense.
But yeah, if it had been released in the spring, it could have launched with 1-2 Switch. But also, it could have launched with ARMS, which honestly it should be launching
I was shocked
with.
that wasn't a launch title.
Yeah, that was something that, like, I saw the video for it, and then I guess I hadn't been paying attention to when they said it was going to come out, and then I was looking at these articles later, and I was like, wait, what?
They could have ARMS, they could have Mario Kart, they could have Splatoon. If they did it in the summer.
That's
3 more games that people are going to want, plus some other little ones.
Really needed that.
Yeah.
Really, really needed that.
Yep.
We got to see some of these games. I guess I'll mention real quick on the Treehouse, and I mean, like I said, a lot of them are ports. Like Ultra Street Fighter 2, I watched that. They have the HD version of it that looks really nice, or you can play it in the original version. But again, like the HD, they made it clear when they were talking about it that the HD is just a skin that's over it because they didn't want to change the gameplay, which is actually a good route to take, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, okay, you're playing a game from, when was that released? 96?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, sure, okay, it's a game that I was playing on the Sega Genesis.
Also, like, it's a shame that some of these are just, like, things... I know Skyrim's a weird exception because it's never been a Nintendo console, but Rayman Legends being touted as, like, a thing you should care about is, like... The game's been out forever.
Yeah.
It's been out for a really long time on the Wii U. People played it already. Like, it's weird to try and hype people up to buy Rayman Legends again.
This is just, man, Nintendo, this is the thing that everyone lambasted you about for your last 2 console generations.
Yep.
And, like, you're kind of getting better because now there's the opportunity for third-party devs to come in.
Well, they launched this one with Zelda too. That's like an like you can't say that's not a marked improvement.
I mean, sure, okay,
in decision making.
But I mean, like, so at least
after what happened with Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, like woof.
Yeah, but no, I mean, at least there's the capability for third-party devs.
Yeah,
but you're still. Like, come on. You really needed to line up, like, a AAA third-party title.
Wonderful 102!
Oh, that's not...
It'll never, ever happen,
ever. Never gonna happen. So, yeah, I mean, Nintendo's got a Nintendo. They Nintendo'd.
So, here's my question to you. Me and my wife are gonna get a Switch at the end of the summer, probably.
Uh-huh.
That's our plan right now, but we're gonna get Zelda when it comes out and play it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you want to Switch? I know you're not big on consoles.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so I wanted to get a Switch because I like the portability element of it.
Yes.
And I was never going to buy it when it came out for a couple of reasons. One, because I knew there weren't going to be copies. And two, because I'm not...
Because you knew there weren't going to be games.
Yeah, because I wasn't convinced that this hardware is going to work the way they say it's going to work. Right. Nintendo is more trustworthy than many other companies, but I still have that grain of salt, so I wasn't going to do that. But, like... Even so, I was planning to try and get it in the summer originally, and I might still do that for Breath of the Wild because I don't have a Wii U, like 99% of the world's population.
Like
yeah, and I'd like to play it. And I'd like to play ARMS, I guess, but otherwise,
not much.
Like NBA 2K. I would love to play a basketball video game multiplayer with people, like they do in the October video.
Bring it to a party and be weird.
But I'm honestly worried that I'm just not going to know anybody else who has it. And it's not going to work out.
I mean, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, come on.
I don't play sports. I don't even play fake sports.
But so I'm considering holding off even longer on buying this.
Until 2018 or something.
Because I want to freaking see some games.
Give us Metroid.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Other M2. Other M.
Other M. So that's that.
Other from another mother.
I saw this article from Destructoid from today that Fire Emblem is getting its own Nintendo Direct.
So they're going to show off Fire Emblem Warriors.
Which is good because we really didn't see it. We saw a sword.
It's going to be something really interesting. Oh, if you're Japanese, the Nintendo Switch is already confirmed to be having Dragon Quest 10 and 11.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's because that news is for Japan.
Yeah, they announced that and they were like, coming out in Japan. Although, one thing I will point out, we forgot to mention earlier, no region locking on this console.
Yeah, that's good news.
That is good news.
That's actually super good news.
It's funny, when they were talking about it, they were like, and region locking, something all of our other consoles have had. This console will not have. And I was like so expecting it to be like...
They didn't say it won't. They said it will be done on a software-to-software basis.
Oh, did they say that?
Yes. So some software may still be regional locked.
From software may still be regional locked.
From Software doesn't give a shit about regional locking. Anybody can play their game. They play Bloodborne. Play it all day.
As long as you're good.
Bloodborne for the Switch. Make everyone even angrier. PS4 exclusivity turns into Switch exclusivity.
We're going to talk about a voting story right now before we close out the show.
Yeah. We're already way over time.
Yeah, we're already way over time. All that Switch...
What's China been doing?
Not letting people play Pokemon Go.
Too dangerous.
Too dangerous.
We don't like it.
So, in a reminder that China is a sort of totalitarian state...
What?
What? What?
Well, how do you say that?
They're an oligarchy? I didn't even know. They let people have consoles now. How could they be? They are still not allowing Pokemon Go. They have reiterated that point in the recent week because they really don't like this whole the whole geocaching thing because they don't want people wandering around where they shouldn't be going.
Yeah.
They just really want to police where their citizens go.
Yes. Stay out of all the abandoned giant cities we made.
That's like so eerie.
It's spooky.
Yeah. Cool though. But
yeah, it'll be cool in like a million years when we're all dead.
I know.
And someone else can find them.
Yeah.
Be freaky.
But you'd think that this would be easy to solve with them just working with Niantic to be like, Niantic, if we just give you a bunch of money, will you like just make it so that...
But you can play City Spirit Go and get a peacock thing pictured above. There it is.
Nice. That's the one thing.
So you can't play Pokemon Go, but you can play our Chinese knockoff of Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
That's not dangerous. It's fine. Well, you listen to Chinese knockoff Hatsune Miku music and drive a Chinese knockoff Honda.
Ooh, do you think that the real reason they don't want people to play it is just because they want to stick it to Japan?
Play it on your Playtendo Z.
Yes. What were some of the VR devices called? I remember one of them looked like Iron Man's helmet.
Look out for the upcoming console release in China this summer, the Nuntunder Change. I can't wait. Instead of making that satisfying, like, it just kind of makes a really unpleasant cracking sound. Like you're opening a glow stick or something. Oh, should it be doing that? Oh, I can't even play Mario on this. All I can play is Blario.
All right.
He's all red and yellow.
Let's move on to the games coming out in 2017.
Oh.
Okay, coming out.
Breath of the Wild's too dangerous. People in China might play it and get the idea that they should go outside. Can't abide by that.
Well, I mean, if they did take a deep breath outside in China, they might
die.
They might die. The pollution's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So today, Rise and Shine came out for the Windows and the Xbox.
What's that?
No clue, and we can't click on it. There's no Wikipedia
What
entry.
a mystery. If anybody can solve this mystery, a Sherlock Holmes of our time, perhaps.
Not to be confused with any of the Sherlock Holmes games coming out in 2017.
Contact us on social media as soon as possible. $25,000 reward for information on Rise and Shine.
Some guy flies in on his laptop.
His Razer jetpack. My jetpack's got 3 monitors.
Okay, so in the next...
Full circle.
Next week.
New Valkyria Chronicles game, but who cares because they ruined it after the first one.
Oh, damn.
I'll say it and I said it, I'll say it again.
So are these like JRPGs? What's going on? What is
Atelier? Yeah, Atelier's a JRPG series, and Fate is a Fate game.
The Umbral Star.
Fate is like Pokemon, but instead of Pokemon, you fight with historical figures.
Oh, really?
Who have been reborn into our time. Wizards summon them to battle each other to win the Holy Grail.
Nothing weird about that.
It's based on a porn visual novel.
Good.
Originally. Now they're trying to pretend that it didn't have its origins in a porn visual novel, but it totally did, so it's really funny.
Nice.
There's some cool stuff in it, though. The anime's got some really good fights.
That reminds me, there's a Chuck Tingle game coming out at some point. I'm excited.
If anyone, perhaps a Sherlock Holmes of our time, can give me any information on Chuck Tingle.
Don't ask people to send you something about Chuck Tingle.
$50,000 reward. So, Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King.
Next Friday, Gravity Rush 2 for the PS4.
Cool. Dog Redman Cricket 17!
Hey, whoa.
Windows!
Hold on, we're going to talk about that next week. That's 27.
But I'm so excited that I want to talk about it now.
Hold off until next week. We're gonna get into it.
Gotta get my cricket on.
But yeah, so that's that for the upcoming week. Not a whole lot, but we're gonna get into some really interesting stuff in the next couple of weeks.
Literally next week.
Yes.
There are many much more interesting releases.
I'm not saying anything, but
I bet that will be terrible.
But that is it for the show. We are overtime. Thank you for listening. This has been Don't Copy That Floppy, a weekly video game news podcast, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/DCTF podcast and www.chipbit.net. We got show archives on YouTube.
We do.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes, leave us a review
The
on
show
there.
archive on Chipbit as well.
Yeah.
Chipbit.net.
So check out all that stuff. Follow us on social media, tweet at us, that would be great. And was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, in that case, until next time.
Not a little bit. Nothing.
Until next time, remember, Don't copy that floppy.